Correct procedure for dipping with gold fleece sheep dip. Plunge dipping with gold fleece dip is a great option for the prevention and treatment of blowfly strike, keds, ticks, lice, and scab on sheep. For dipping to be effective, it needs to be carried out correctly. Let us show you how. Before you start, let's make sure you have everything you need. Have you got your Safe Use of Sheep Dip certificate, permit to dispose of dip or a waste management contractor to remove your used dip, an impermeable container to store toxic materials for waste dip before it is collected or spread? You'll also need an adequately sized dipping tank, a crook to assist with dipping the sheep, a timer, and a counter. I feel like we're forgetting something. Oh yes. Now, let's make sure the conditions are right for dipping. Remember, sheep should not be dipped on a full stomach, when they are wet, tired, thirsty, or when they are suffering from wounds or open sores. Also, choose a cool, dry day and dip early in the morning. Safety is key, so you'll also need to make sure that you have the correct personal protective equipment. This includes Wellington boots, PVC or NITRILE waterproof trousers, which are to be worn outside your boots, PVC or NITRILE heavy-duty gauntlet-style gloves. They should be 0.5mm thick and at least 300mm long. A waterproof coat, or a PVC or NITRILE bib apron, a face shield for when handling dip concentrate. Now it's time to prepare the bath for dipping. It's important to know the size of your tank before you start. The concentration ratio is critical for the initial bath. This is 1 part gold fleece for every 1500 parts water. Firstly, measure the required volume of clean, soft water into the bath. Attach the dispensing kit to the gold fleece and dispense the correct amount of product into the bath. For example, for a bath which is 900 litres or 200 gallons, you require 600 ml of gold fleece, which means dispensing 10 by 60 ml measures of gold fleece using the dispensing kit. When completed, stir the bath thoroughly. You are now ready to start dipping. Use your clicker to count the number of sheep being dipped. Guide the sheep into the bath, one by one. Totally immerse the sheep in the bath. All parts of the sheep, except the heads and ears, must remain immersed for at least 1 minute. Keep the sheep moving in the bath and plunge the head under at least twice. Never hold the head down or the sheep may swallow or inhale some of the wash. Once dipped, release sheep onto the draining pen before moving to a holding pen. Continue dipping all sheep. Gold fleece dip works by binding with the sheep's fleece. Every time a sheep leaves the bath, some of the dip leaves with them. This is why it is important to top up the bath at regular intervals. For baths of less than 2,250 litres or 500 gallons, add 180 ml of dip after every 36 sheep dipped, and sufficient clean water to restore the bath to its original volume. For baths of over 2,250 litres or 500 gallons, add 480 ml of dip after every 96 sheep dipped and sufficient water to restore the bath to its original volume. Fouling of the dip wash reduces effectiveness. When a bath becomes foul, always empty it, clean it and refill it with fresh dip and water. Do not dip more than 1 sheep per 2 litres of wash. So, for example, if you have a 900 litre or 200 gallon bath, you need to empty, clean and refill with fresh dip and water after 450 sheep have been dipped. Even if the water does not seem foul, you should empty, clean and refill it. After you finish dipping sheep, you should release them from the drain pen to a holding area. Make sure Their fleeces aren't dripping wet when they leave the drain pen. The holding area does not contain any wells, springs, watercourses, ditches or wetlands. That you provide the sheep with drinking water in troughs or another form so they don't run to the nearest water source. And you keep the sheep in the holding area until they are completely dry. That's it. You're all done. Your sheep are protected against lice, scab, blowfly strike, keds and ticks. Make sure you record the date you dipped your sheep, and remember that Gold Fleece has the shortest meat withdrawal of any dip in the UK at just 49 days. Disposing of Gold Fleece dip. Dip is a hazardous substance. It is vital that you understand and adhere to the requirements for the storage and disposal of waste dip. You must have an environmental permit to dispose of treated or untreated waste sheep dip to land. You must comply with the conditions set out in the permit. Before dipping, make sure you fully understand and comply with the requirements for dipping sheep and for transporting, storing, handling and disposing of concentrate dip and waste dip wash. For further information about the requirements to dip sheep, handle dip, store dip and dispose of dip, visit the gov.uk website page about sheep dip and the Groundwater Protection Code. This animation is intended as a useful overview of sheep dipping with Gold Fleece sheep dip. Gold Fleece is a licensed veterinary medicine with a legal category POM-VPS. For full product information on Gold Fleece dip, including contraindications, refer to the SPC, which can be found on the VMD website.